Welcome to Awcroft's YouTube channel, your world for information. How are you? The topic for the day is Khalil Gibran's Sand and Foam. Khalil Gibran needs no introduction, and this book, Sand and Foam, is a philosophical treasure. A kind request to check out all my videos. If you like them, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Sand and foam. I'm forever walking up the shores betwixt the sand and the foam. The high tide will erase my footprints, and the will blow away the foam, but the sea and shore will remain forever. Once I filled my hand with mist, then I opened it, and lo, the mist was a worm. And I closed and opened my hand again, and behold, there was a bird. And again I closed and opened my hand, and its hollow stood a man with a sad face turned upward. And again I closed my hand, and when I opened it, there was naught but mist. But I heard a song of exceeding sweetness. It was but yesterday I thought myself a fragment querying without rhythm in the sphere of life. Now I know that I am the sphere, and all life in the rhythmic fragments move within me. They say to me in their awakening, you and the world you live in are but a grain of sand upon the infinite shore of an infinite sea. And in my dream I say to them, I am the infinite sea, and all the words are but grains of sand upon my shore. Only once I have been made mute. It was when a man asked me, who are you? The first thought of God was an angel, and first thought of God was a man. Fluttering, wandering, longing creatures a thousand years before the sea and wind in the forest gave us words. Now he can we express the ancient of days in which with only the sounds of our yesterdays. The Sphinx spoke only once, and the Sphinx said, a grain of sand is a desert, and desert is a grain of sand. And now let's all be silent again. I heard the Sphinx, but I did not understand. I saw the face of a woman and beheld all her children not yet born. And a woman looked upon my face, and she know all my forefathers did before she was born. Would I fulfill myself, but how shall I, unless I became a planet with intelligent lives dwelling upon it? Is it not this every man's goal? A pearl is a temple built by Pune around a grain of sand. What longing built our bodies and what around grains? When God threw me a pebble into this wondrous lake, I disturbed its surface with countless circles, but when I reached the depth, I became very still. The silence, and I will outdare the night. Second birth, when my soul and my body loved one another and were married. Once I know a man whose ears were exceedingly keen, but he was dumb. He had lost his tongue in a battle. I know what battles that man fought before the great silence came, and I am glad he is dead. The world is not large enough for two of us. Did I lie in the dust of Egypt, silent and unaware of the seasons? Then the sun gave me birth, and I rose and walked upon the banks of the Nile, singing with the days and dreaming with the nights. And now the sun treads upon me with 1,000 feet, that I may lie again in the dust of Egypt. But behold a marvel and a riddle. The very sun that gathered me cannot scatter me. Still erect am I, and sure of foot do I walk upon the banks of Nile. Remembrance is a form of meeting. Forgetfulness is a form of freedom. Sure. Time according to the movement of the countless suns, and they measure time by little missions in their little pockets. Tell me how we can even ever meet at the same place and the same time. Space is not space between the earth and the sun to one who looks down from the windows of the Milky Way. Humanity is a river of light running from externity to eternity. Do not the spirits who dwell in the ether envy man is pain? On my way to the holy city, I met another pilgrim and asked him, "Is this indeed the way to the holy city?" He said, "Follow me, and you will reach the holy city in a day and a night." I followed him. When we walked many days and many nights, yet we did not reach the holy city. And what was to my surprise, he became angry with me because he has misled me. Make me, O God, the prey of lion, or you make the rabbit my prey. I may not reach the dawn, save by the path of the night. My house says to me, "Do not leave me, for here dwells your past." And the road says to me, "Come and follow me, for I am your future." And I say to both my house and the road, "I have no past nor I have a future. If I stay here, this is going to be in my staying, and if I go there, there is a staying in my going. Only love and death change all things." How can I lose faith in the justice of life when the dreams of those who sleep upon feathers are not more beautiful than the dreams of those who sleep upon the earth? The desire for certain pleasure is a part of my pain. Times have I despised my soul. The first time when I saw her being meek that she might attain height. The second time when I saw her limping before the crippled. The third time when she has given to choose between the hard and the easy, and she chose the easy. The fourth time when she committed a wrong and comforted herself that others also commit wrong. The fifth time when she forbore for weakness and attributed her patience to her strength. The sixth time when she despised the ugliness of her face and know that was one of her own masks. And the seventh time when she sang a song of praise and deemed it as a virtue. Ignorant of absolute truth, but I am humble before my ignorance, and therein lies my honor and my reward. There is a space between man's imaginations and man's attainment that may only be traversed by his longing. Paradise is there behind the door in the next room, but I have lost the key. Perhaps I have only mislaid it. You are blind and I am deaf and dumb, so let us touch hands and understand. The significance of a man is not in what he attains, but rather in what he longs to attain. Some of us are like ink, and some of us like paper. And if it were not of the blackness of some of us would be dumb. And if it were not for the whiteness of some of us would be blind. And ear, and I will give you a voice. Our mind is a sponge, our heart is a stream. It is not strange that most of us choose sucking rather than running. When you long for blessings that you may not name, and when you grieve, knowing not the cause, then indeed you are growing with all the things that grow and racing towards your greater self. When one is drunk with a vision, he deems his faint expression of it the very wine. You drink wine that you may be in the intoxicated, and I drink that it may be sober for me from that other wine. When my cup is empty, I resign myself to its emptiness, but when it is half full, I resent its half-fullness. Reality of other person is not in what he reveals to you, but in what he cannot reveal to you. Therefore, if you would understand him, listen not to what he says, but rather to what he does not say. Half of what I say is meaningless, but I say it so the other half may reach you. A sense of humor is a sense of proportion. My loneliness was born when men praise my talkative faults and blame my silent virtues. Does not find a singer to sing her heart. She produces a philosopher to speak her mind. The truth is to be known, always to be uttered sometimes. The real in us is silent, the acquired is talkative. The voice of life in me cannot reach the ear of the life in you. But let us talk that we may not feel lonely. When two women try to talk, they say nothing. When one woman speaks, she reveals all of life. Frogs may bellow louder than bulls, but they cannot drag the plough in the field nor turn the wheel of the winepress, and of their skins you cannot make the shoes. Only the dumb can envy the talkative. If winter should say, Spring is in my heart, who would believe winter? Every seed is longing. Should you really open your eyes and see, you would behold your image in all images, and should you open your ears and listen, you would hear your own voice in all the voices. It takes two of us to discover truth, one to utter it and another to understand it. The wave of words is forever upon us, yet our depth is forever silent. Many a doctrine is like a window pane. We see the truth through it, but it divides us from the truth. Let us play hide and seek. Should you hide in my heart, it would not be difficult to find you. But should you hide behind your own shell, then it would be unless for anyone to seek you. Woman may veil her face with a smile. Noble is the sad heart who would sing a joyous song with joyous hearts. He who would understand a woman or dissect genius or solve the mystery of silence is the very man who would wake up from a beautiful dream to sit at a breakfast table. I would walk with all those who walk. I would not stand still to watch the procession passing by. You owe more gold to him who serves you. Give him of your heart or serve him. Nay, we have not lived in vain. Have they not built towers of our bones? Let us not be particular and sectional. The poet's mind and the scorpion's tail rise in the glory from the same earth. Every dragon gives birth to a Saint George who slays it. Or the poems that the earth writes upon the sky. We fell them down and turn them into paper, and we may not record our emptiness. Should you care to write, and only the saints know why you should, you must needs have knowledge and art and magic, the knowledge of music of words, the art of being artless, and the magic of loving your readers. They dip their pens in our heart and think they are inspired. Should a tree write its autobiography, it would not be unlike the history of a race. If I were chosen between the power of writing a poem and the ecstasy of a poem unwritten, I would choose the ecstasy. It is better poetry, but you and all my neighbors agree that I always choose badly. Poetry is not an opinion expressed, it is a song that rises from the bleeding wound or a smiling mouth. Words are timeless, you should utter them or write them with the knowledge of their timelessness. A poet is a dethroned king sitting among the ashes of his palace, trying to fashion an image out of the ashes. Poetry is a deal of joy and pain and wonder with a dash of the dictionary. In vain shall a poet seek the mother of the songs of his heart. Once I said to a poet, we shall not know your word until you die. And he answered, saying, Yes, death is always the revealer. And if indeed you would know my worth, it is I have more in my heart than upon my tongue, and more in my desire than in my hand. If you sing of beauty, though alone in the heart of a desert, you will have an audience. Poetry is wisdom that enchants the heart. Wisdom is a poetry that sings in the mind. If he could enchant man's heart at the same time, sing in his mind, then in truth he would live in the shadow of God. Inspiration will always sing, inspiration will never explain. We often sing lullabies to our children that we ourselves may sleep. All our words are but crumbs that fall down from the feast of the mind. Thinking is always the stumbling stone to poetry. A great singer is he who sings our silences. How can you sing if your mouth be filled with food? How shall your hand be raised in blessing if it is filled with gold? They say the nightingale pierces his bosom with a thorn, and when he sings his love song, so do we all. How well should we sing? Genius is but a robin's song at the beginning of a slow spring. Even the most winged spirit cannot escape physical necessity. A madman is not less a musician that you or myself. Only the instrument on which he plays is a little out of tune. A song that lies silent in the heart of a mother sings upon the lips of a child. No longing remains unfulfilled. I never agreed with my other self wholly. The truth of the matter seems to lie between us. Your other self is always sorry for you, but your other self grows on sorrow, so all is well. There is no struggle of soul and body save in minds of those whose soul are asleep and whose body are out of tune. When you reach the heart of the life, you shall find beauty in all things, even in the eyes that are blind to beauty. We live only to discover beauty, all else is a form of waiting. Sow a seed, and the earth will yield you a flower. Dream your dream to the sky, and it will bring you your beloved. The devil died the very day you were born. Now you do not have to go through the hell to meet an angel. Many a woman borrows a man's heart, very few could possess it. If you would possess, you must not claim. When a man touches the hand of a woman, they both touch the heart of eternity. Love is the wheel between the lover and lover. Every man loves two women. The one is the creation of his imagination, and the other is not yet born. Men who do not forgive women their little faults will never enjoy their great virtues. Love that does not renew itself every day becomes a habit and in turn to be a slavery. Lovers embrace that which is between them rather than each other. Love and doubt have never been on speaking terms. Love is a word of light written by a hand of light upon a page of light. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity. If you do not understand your friends under all conditions, you will never understand him. Your most radiant garment is of the other person's weaving. Your most savory meal is that which you eat at other person's table. Your most comfortable bed is in the other person's house. Now tell me, how can you separate yourself from the other person? Your mind and my heart will never agree until your mind ceases to live in the numbers and my heart in the mist. We shall never understand one another until we reduce the language to 7 words. How shall my heart be answered unless it is broken? Only great sorrow or great joy can reveal your truth. If you would be revealed, you must either dance naked in the sun or carry your cross. Should nature heed what we say of contentment, no river would seek the sea, and no winter would turn to spring. Should she heed all of we say of thrift, how many of us would be breathing this air? You see but the shadow when you turn your back to the sun. You are free before the sun of the day and free before the stars of the night, and you are free when there is no sun and no moon and no star. You are ever free when you close your eyes upon all there is, but you are slave to him whom you love because you love him, and a slave to him who loves you because he loves you.